Imagine the calm blue waters of the Mediterranean suddenly becoming a geopolitical choke point, a pressure point so dangerous the whole region just stops breathing. Ports go totally silent, shipping lanes scramble for alternatives, headlines flash across every single screen. One unprecedented maritime blockade takes over the world before the sun even comes up.
So what if Greece actually blocks Italian ships? To be absolutely clear right out of the gate, this isn't just about some boats getting delayed. No, this is a massive chain reaction of sovereignty, control, and national survival. What if a single act at sea turns a completely normal shipping route into an absolute geopolitical nightmare? It forces us to ask, who controls the water, the trade, the narrative, and honestly, the future of the Mediterranean itself?
If this were to actually happen, the immediate fallout would move at lightning speed. Step 1. Absolute confusion down at the port level. You'd have shipping companies, port authorities, and satellite trackers frantically trying to figure out, wait, is this just a routine inspection or is this a massive escalation? And that confusion instantly morphs into panic. Ships pile up, schedules completely collapse, which then triggers a frantic diplomatic scramble. Rome is demanding answers, Athens has to justify its actions in international waters, and literally in a matter of minutes, a localized incident explodes into a full-blown international emergency.
Let's move to Section 1. The blockade begins. More than just boats. And let's see how this builds.
Because we aren't just talking about a couple of fishing boats sitting dead in the water here. Breaking it down, blocking commercial and cargo ships instantly paralyzes global supply chains. Stopping ferries directly threatens tourism and strands thousands of passengers. Halting fuel transports disrupts everyday energy continuity. And obstructing naval units? Well, that's a direct challenge to military power itself. Doing this instantly broadcasts an undeniable political message. The region is closed. It elevates a simple traffic problem into a massive, high-stakes test of state power. Okay, let's dive into Section 2, Rome and Athens collide, the bilateral standoff. So you have both sides viewing the exact same event completely differently. If Athens takes this step, they are almost certainly going to frame it as a purely defensive move, a legally justified security measure to protect their sovereignty. But Rome is practically guaranteed to see this as a hostile political challenge, an unacceptable disruption of their national interests, and a direct test of leverage. So suddenly, both sides are backed into a corner, and both feel totally forced to defend their national pride.
And that brings us to the trap of maritime confrontations. Every move is both practical and symbolic. Rome literally cannot afford to look weak in front of its citizens or the world by just rolling over and accepting the blockade. But on the flip side, if they respond too aggressively, they risk triggering an actual war. Every single choice becomes agonizing because allies, rivals, global markets, they are all reading into every little maneuver in real time.
Which sends shockwaves outward. Section 3. EU and NATO scramble. The alliance problem.
All of a sudden, Brussels and Washington wake up to find themselves mediating a crisis between their own members. The EU is terrified of a massive institutional and market crisis, so they desperately want to mediate the dispute, protect economic integration, and keep trade stable. Meanwhile, NATO and the US are laser-focused on collective defense. They absolutely want to avoid a credibility test or, frankly, any distraction from other global security pressures. The fact that Greece and Italy are in these exact same alliances makes the whole thing incredibly delicate, because the entire system is built on them cooperating.
Now, what's really interesting about this next part is how it directly affects you. Section 4. Law, Economics, and Supply. The ripple effect.
When cargo gets delayed at sea, the pain spreads incredibly fast. First, you get factories and warehouses facing immediate material shortages. Because supply plummets, steep price increases hit the markets, which inevitably sparks widespread public concern and panic buying. So we're not talking about abstract geopolitics anymore. We're talking about blocked supply chains instantly hitting your local supermarket, the gas station down the street, and your everyday family budget. The real-world pain hits hard, and it hits fast.
And here is the dangerous mismatch. Legal processes move slowly, but crises at sea move fast. Italy would undoubtedly push for legal remedies through international maritime courts, right? But those arbitrations take months, sometimes years. Meanwhile, the cargo delays and price spikes we just talked about, those are happening today. This mismatch leaves everyone under immense compounding pressure while the lawyers are essentially arguing in slow motion.
So the crucial point is really this. Section 5, leverage versus escalation, the strategic core.
We have to ask, what is Greece's actual goal here?
If it's leverage, the goal is forcing negotiations, drawing a firm red line, or maybe responding to a provocation. And leverage can sometimes be reversed by clever diplomacy. But if it's escalation, meaning they're beginning a larger contest over maritime rights and political influence, well, that's entirely different. Escalation hardens into a national posture. It becomes a matter of identity, and it is nearly impossible to unwind without someone losing face.
Because of that distinction, neighboring states are watching this with absolute dread. The Eastern and Central Mediterranean states know that if Greece succeeds, it leads to the normalization of geography as a weapon. Think about it. If one state successfully blocks another's ships and just gets away with it, this blockade tactic could become the terrifying new normal, permanently shifting the regional balance of power.
Bringing us to the climax of this crisis. Section 6, when water becomes weapon, the ultimate cost.
The sea is open, but full of signals. If Italy feels pressured to send naval escorts to break the blockade, or if either side performs aggressive maneuvers, they are sending massive signals. A ship's speed, its turning radius, how close it gets, these are literally words in a very dangerous language. Highly visible military movements can accidentally trigger a broader, completely uncontrollable security test. Basically, one misread maneuver could start a war nobody actually wants.
To prevent that disaster, lightning-fast diplomacy is required. You need third-party mediation, probably from the EU or the US. You need temporary assurances or maybe phased releases of ships. But most importantly, and this is key, there is a crucial need to save face. Diplomacy only works here if it provides a fast path for both Greece and Italy to step back without humiliation. Because once public pride locks them in, leaders have almost zero options to back down peacefully.
As the old saying goes, the sea is never just empty space. It is a geopolitical instrument, and whoever controls it can change the conversation far beyond the horizon. Water is power. A ship might look tiny compared to a land border, but in the world of strategy, shipping is a lever that changes absolutely everything. Access is power, delay is pressure, and one blocked route quickly becomes a global story.
Which leaves us with this final, provocative question. If one blocked route between two European neighbors can change the world, spike prices, and threaten global alliances, how safe is the water around you? Take a second to think about the hidden fragility of the global trade routes you rely on every single day for your food, your fuel, and your security. Because once you start asking what if, the world suddenly looks a whole lot less stable. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.